on Hannah Hall was Monday. She lit it up against Bill Crothers in the quarterfinals, especially late to bring Lincoln Prep into the semifinals. Lauren Rainford with a block there on Christina Mora. Kings retains possession though, but only 5 left on the shot clock. Tisha Emmy here with the pull-up. It's no good. Here comes Hall.
Lincoln ball. Ugranoff into the game.
Ugranoff checking in for Soriano now for Kings. Here comes Lincoln. Holding, but it's tipped away by Mora. Here comes Ugranoff pushing the other way. Boers, the little pull-up jumper, it's no good. Emmy here with the back though. Beast all season long in those offensive goals. They're going to have to find a way to deal with that if they want to keep this one closer. All in the corner. Rainford.
And her hook is good. Steal there by Lincoln. Here comes Hannah Hall. And she finishes in transition.
One of the big things for Hall here in the playoffs has been the first round. She got hot, and one little stretch can make a difference. So getting her going is exactly what Lincoln wants here. Establish where they are in this game against Kings.
Boers for 3, a little bit short, and there's Hall. She's all over the place early in this one, picking up another rebound.
And that's one part Kings has talked about before the game. You want to get Hall having to do a lot early. So there's a run impact, but there's also can you wear on her as the game goes along.
Rainford's 3 is a bit long. Emmy here with the rebound, and Kings is pushing in transition. Boers a little bit off balance. Here comes Lincoln.
It's too bad they couldn't get that one up on the rim. Mora had all the position by the rim, so anything on glass up there could have been an offensive rebound. Mora would have been all by herself.
Here's Hall, the little pull-up 3, a little bit short. A good look though for Hall. Kings has got to shut those down early because you don't want to get her going. We have Kaylee Hall there with the pressure on Ugranoff. Over to Boers on the wing. And we have an offensive foul there called on Christina Mora for Kings. It's going to be Lincoln ball out of bounds.
When it's early in a game like that in your Kings, I think you're okay with those offensive fouls. You'd like to have your guards go in there and knock some bodies with the bigs, try and get your forward open at the rim. So if you get an offensive foul there, you take that one early on and just make sure you don't waste any more in the rest of the quarter.
Great little pass there for Hannah Hall to the cutting Lauren Rainford, and she finishes in traffic.
Rainford did a real nice job there, lulling her defense to sleep. Once the help looked away, then she went cutting in. The timing of the cut was just as great as the cut location.
We have Oriami for the baseline for Kings. Great box out there by Rainford, but then Mora picks it up. And it's going to be a jump ball called there. It's going to be Lincoln ball on the sideline.
Credit max to both the teams there. That one looked like it almost got there and hit the rafter, and sometimes the athletes will stop to play as that could have been out of bounds, but everyone kept fighting, getting their hands in there, so a lot of credit just sticking to it.
Shout out to Lou Wall. She is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
No surprise, she enters the building to a round of applause from the fans.
Here's Hannah Hall for 3, a little bit off, but Rainford crashing the offensive glass, and she finishes the putback.
Those are what you need. If you're Lincoln, that's what you need against Kings. You need those hard work buckets. So it's the extra effort on the cut that the Rainford, the younger sister, had the possession before, and now the elder sister with the offensive rebound. And those extra points will accumulate, and they need that to have the pressure on Kings as this thing goes along.
And the constant defensive pressure here by Lincoln looks to be frustrating Kings early. They can't get any clean looks off. And there they go through the hands of Boers, and it's going to be Lincoln ball again.
And these are interesting because you can say Lincoln has really stepped it up their intensity on defense. Now what happens with that is when it's out of your characters, sometimes that can wear you as the game goes on. So what will be interesting from their lens is, do they mix it up and have this high pressure go for as long as it's working and then find times where they can relax and go back to their normal status?
We have Kaylee Hall for 3 this time. A little bit short, but there's Lincoln with another O board. Hall probing, kicks out to Martindale. Her 3 is off, and Mora gets this one.
Like that possession if they're Lincoln, though. 2 real good looks at it. You had Hall had one opportunity, then Hannah Hall with the skip pass to find Martindale for another chance. So you get 2 good, clean looks. Those will be positive outcomes if you continue to have those shots.
And that foul there was Lauren Rainford for Lincoln. Looking to get Amy Hare down low on the younger Rainford. She puts it up a little bit too strong though.
Good matchup identification, a nice patience to get it to her.
A little slip there by Rainford, and Hall finds her, extending the Lincoln lead to 8.
There's definitely something that deserved a timeout there, and the reason you say that is Moore had hedged out on this side, but Noah on the other side was engaged as a help defender. So there was a miscommunication on your defensive end there. Either Moore was supposed to stay, then why the help side would have stayed where they were, or the help side, somebody was supposed to be in there and protect the rim. Either way, somebody's on the right page, and they had to take this timeout for Kings.
Yeah, we down early, don't want to give up easy layups.
Part of it too is Kings, you're going to feel comfortable. You know your ability to go on a run. You know your ability to pressure, how to create some offense through your defense. So they're still within this thing, but what you have to be careful of is you don't want to slip to a point where there's a lot of extra stress on your athletes. I think the coaches are aware. It's still a young group. This group doesn't want to see this thing get to like 12, 15 and have that extra pressure of making some early mistakes. So good timeout here, bring the ship back, and then just get themselves back to what they're trying to do. It'll be neat to watch for us, Max, on this end is on the Lincoln side. As we talked about a bit earlier, are they going to stay in the defense they've been employing thus far, which has been extremely successful, or is this a chance now with 1:55 to go they can change it up, maybe do something different, save a little bit of energy, and then come back at the start of the second quarter with what's been so effective? Always a delicate balance. You don't want to give away your energy and momentum, but at the same time you don't want to wear the players out.
And it'll be interesting how Kings can work to get Amy here or Mora touches down low. They do have both Rainfords already with quick fouls. And if they get out, they are slightly lacking depth up front, Lincoln is. So Lincoln does come out in the pressure, slowing things down right off the start. With Amy Hare at the top. Here's Boers making something happen, and she's blocked by Babi Ekubu. She's pushing right to Hall in transition, and she finishes.
Well, they're big ones for Lincoln. All these ones count. Everything they can add on top of this right now just continues to mount the pressure on Kings.
Here's Mora probing. Good defense there by Rainford, staying straight. Bothered the shot, and she gets the defensive rebound.
That's a pretty good move by Moore. I mean, Kings does deserve some credit. The 2 of their last 3 possessions have resulted in good touches for some of their best players on the blocks and just haven't got anything to show for it yet. But they have been better possessions than the outcome has shown.
A little miscommunication there between Kaylee and Hannah Hall. It's going to be Kings ball.
It can be a funny game at times because the momentum can make it feel so much different than what's actually happening out there. But the quality of possessions back and forth has been a little bit more even than it's felt for the last 3 minutes. But all the outcomes have gone Lincoln's way.
It's Ugranoff with a deep 3, rattles out. It's going to be Lincoln ball coming the other way.
Yeah, another good example of a good quality shot. Good look at it. Puts it all the way inside the cylinder. Just can't stay down.
Shot is a little bit off there for Lincoln. It's Mora with the rebound.
That was a nice job on the ball in the backcourt. You put some ball pressure that makes the point guards work a little bit harder. It's a longer pass. And it's not that the pass is difficult, but when you increase the distance, it just increases the odds of something going wrong. And this, you have a little bit of miscommunication. The ball's thrown too far, leading out of bounds.
We have a travel there on Martindale, so Kings will have it 14 seconds left in the first quarter, trailing 17-7.
I think if you're Kings, you can get this to single digits. You'd feel really great about this quarter. Everything kind of went against you. You didn't play great. Only be down single digits, you'd feel in striking range.
Lincoln continuing with this pressure defense. Trapping everywhere, but Uganov gets another good look. Too strong. And that's the end of the first quarter. We have Lincoln Prep 17, Kings Christian 7.
Yeah, and you got to feel really good if you're Lincoln on that one. They've come out with a lot of energy. Obviously, had a great game plan to come out and disrupt some things that Kings is trying to do to start this game, and it's been successful. They've ruined the flow of what Kings is trying to do. They've made them work coming to the ball at the floor. They've earned themselves a couple easy points. So if you're Lincoln now, they're balancing, as we talked about, how do we keep this going without wearing ourselves down, and how do we keep Kings off balance? Kings, on the other hand, I think now has to take a chance to regroup. You fall down 10, it's not an insurmountable distance, but you got to make sure the composure and your confidence is still there going into this timeout. This isn't panic mode yet with what you have on this team, and you've had some better possessions than it showed, but you have to keep focused and keep that going. Some of their defensive possessions were starting to slide as the quarter went on, and without that, it's tough to come back into this game.
Great start to the OSBA playoffs. Love it. March Madness in the air.
This is the semifinal actions we've been hoping for all year. We've seen these top four teams, and I mean, some credit to teams that aren't here that didn't make the Final Four have been competitive in all these different nights you go watch the OSBA. So no surprise to get with all the money on the line that you've got a great game kicking this thing off.
Going to be Kings ball here to start the second quarter. Let's see if they can get something going early. Chip away at this lead.
Kings starts with the ball.
Lincoln comes out in a little 2-3 zone. Neal at the top for three, a little bit too strong. Martindale gets it for Lincoln.
I like the call that they came out 2-3 zone, but they threw a little pressure in that, ran at some ball carriers, got the ball moving a little quicker than Kings may have been ready.
Balabieko for two.
The biggest problem right now for Kings, I think, is the quality of shot that Lincoln is getting almost every trip down the floor.
Great pressure there by Hannah Hall. It's going to be over and back. Lincoln ball.
Great play by Hall. You got to give credit there. Just a true hustle play. Gets a tip on it, then runs around Emmy Hare to get on the floor to get that ball back. I mean, that's a sign of what's going on, and that's no disrespect to what's happening for Kings' side, but to see someone run around you and get on the floor has got to be a wake-up call here with still 29 minutes to go.
Kaylee Hall at the top, looking around. They get a terrain for down low, who makes her move, and her hook is good.
All right, Lincoln there has a nice little baseline cutter, so removed the help and allowed Rainford to work one-on-one. Just to finish that piece, they went to Rainford with that baseline cutter, and what that does is it forces someone else to rotate down to provide the support on the post defense, but that's a lot to ask. You're going to see one teammate go to fill that gap. Kings didn't have it that time and gave Rainford a ton of space in there to work one-on-one on the blocks.
First shot for Emmy Hare is good.
And that breaks a 14-0 run for Lincoln.
Second is off. And a good box out there by Rainford. Draws the foul on Mora, which is going to be her second.
Big call. Rainford does a real nice job fighting for position, blocking out, backing up. She does everything right. What makes it really interesting is I think Mora had the argument that she did not pull Rainford down. She just lost her balance to do a hard work out. And what made it really interesting from the fans behind us perspective is that Lincoln had also corralled the basketball. Almost no need for a call on that, but 2-on-more is a big call. We'll see if it shapes what Kings is going to do with it here for the second quarter.
Little miscommunication there again. It's going to be Kings ball. It has been a great matchup down low already. We've seen bodies flying, a little bump. They're getting a little frustrated at times, but they're putting up points between Rainford and Mora. It's going to be a tough one all night, it looks like. And there's Mora on cue, finishing again.
Nice pass there, Emma Hare to get inside the paint. The patience there, she had 2 decisions on that made it so good. First on the catch, she has the patience to look high-low as the defense shifted. She puts the ball on the floor. Then as 2 came to her, she has a nice little dump off.
We have the foul there on Amy Hare. I believe that's her first. Pressure there by Oriami on the catch, but she's going to be called for the foul.
I almost feel a little bit of frustration for Kings right now. They're trying to up the intensity some, and you can feel that. They're doing a nice job of that. Some extra pressure, some extra hands going in places. But with that, there's often a desperation piece that gets a couple fouls. But the reaction to those fouls right now is the part that may be a little more alarming.
Here's Martindale, an open jumper up top. Too strong. Lincoln, though, crashing the O boards. There's the Rainford sisters packing back and forth, but it's broken up by Mora, and they're going to call a foul there on Lauren Rainford.
So you can always feel a bit of the stress in the gym by the reactions of everybody to the foul calls, and right now we see both teams. You know, there's a foul call, just the arms going out and the shrugs happening, and I think it's a good barometer just how engaged everybody is in this and the stress of what's going on, or the excitement, I guess you might call it, the semifinals.
Emmy Hare bringing it up that time, breaks the pressure, gets her little lefty finger roll, but it's no good. But another good look for Kings. They just can't convert these opportunities. And here's that matchup down low we were talking about with Mora and Rainford. She's unable to corral the pass, and here comes Kings. There's Amy Hare on Rainford. Another great job staying straight up, and her shot's too strong. Hall driving baseline, gets around both defenders and finishes.
What made Rainford's job so nice in the last possession is they actually, as you touched on, she just didn't do too much. She just got position, she stayed in her position with her hands up, and then let Emmy Hare have to do the rest and earn a bucket.
We have Soriano on the baseline, and it's good for 2.
This is an important time for Kings right now, and not an important time that they have to chip away, but an important time just to neutralize what's been going on against them.
Here's Lincoln with the man advantage, and Spadafora hits the 3 from the corner. The lead is now 14 for Lincoln. Boers gets it down low to Mora. Good defense again by Rainford. The shot's a little bit off.
Yeah, Kings is getting the touches I'm assuming they want. They're getting a lot of great touch on the blocks.
Another slip by Rainford. No help is there, and she finishes.
You know, I got to give credit to Rainford. We talked about this throughout the year, and it's just showing again tonight. Her most effective piece on offense is when she's setting the screen and then finding space getting out of that screen. Did a great job slipping that one too, right to the rim.
And if I'm Kings, you have to take note that's probably the 3rd time in a row she's been wide open on the slip. That's something they're going to have to take care of if they want to chip back away. Hall gets it up to Spadafora for the open layup.
What was really interesting about that one from my lens is Emmy Hare makes a nice play to get up and deflect it, but even the time of her getting off the ground, that deflection, Hall recollecting the ball and throwing ahead, no other play from Kings had crossed half. So you got to worry a bit about like where the engagement level's at right now, or maybe there's a little bit of self-pity feeling with the way the game's gone. You got to get them refocused and handling it one possession at a time.
That was a great take there by Soriano, getting past Hall and into Rainford. drawing her second foul of the game. So that's going to be a big development here. We'll see how long Lincoln keeps her on the bench.
So one thing that you'll always talk about the forward series we had in this timeout is often when the guards get beat way over the top like that, so there's the excitement of putting the ball pressure 6-7 feet beyond the three-point line, and everyone in the gym, you could feel the intensity of how great that was. But what happens is when you blow by that 2 feet beyond the three-point line, you get a head of steam heading down to the rim, it really exposes your forward. There's so much room to try and cover there. They're by nature going to try and protect the rim a little bit and give you some sort of last stand of defense. Rainford, in this case, though, in doing that, gets herself stuck with her second foul. And now it's a big storyline in this game, and it's a foul you probably didn't want to take. What would be more ideal with the lead you have right now is that ball pressure has to be in some level where you can contain the basketball still as well. You don't want to leave Rainford standing by herself a 6-7 feet radius trying to protect the rim.
So with 5:22 left in the second, we have Lincoln Prep, the 4th seed, with a 30-12 lead over the regular season champs, Kings Christian.
Yeah, no better way for drama in the opening semifinals game. You got your number 1 seed. They've proven all year they have the ability to race this lead in no time. But we've also seen all year that Lincoln's a very reliable and sturdy team. They'll do everything they can to hold this thing and continue to build it forward. The most promising thing for Lincoln thus far has been when the second quarter started, they had themselves a lead and they continue to be aggressive and assertive and build that lead opposed to sitting back and trying to maintain it.
And we have Soriano at the line for 2. Her first is off, and coming out of the timeout, we have both Mora and Emmy Hare sitting for Kings, and Rainford went out with her second foul. Here's Soriano off again on the second, and it's going to be Lincoln Prep ball tipped out of bounds by Oriami.
And with 18-point lead, I think it's probably the right call. You try and see like how else is going to go without Rainford. I mean, the answer is if you can play her right now for a minute or two and there's no difference in the lead and how your team's playing, then you can let that ride out. If you need her back because it's starting to chip away or the momentum's changing, then you reevaluate that time. But at least explore how the team might do without her.
And right away, right after the free throws, Emmy Hare comes back in and looked at Kings to try and exploit her matchup down the stretch here with Rainford on the bench. They get it to Boers for 3, a little bit short though. Kings is able to get the offensive rebound. Soriano for 3 now, a little bit too strong. And it's going to be Lincoln Prep again, tipped out of bounds by Kings.
I think the interesting story is Kings' offense is actually getting pretty good shots. I know it has a different feel at times the way the game has gone, but they're getting opportunities, they're getting good looks, and they're getting the people they want. What they're going to have to do here is start to, A, make some, but B, also get some stops.
Lincoln taking their time with the pressure, gets it across and gets a good look for Ferraro at the basket, just unable to convert on that one. Pressure defense again by Hall up top. They get it to Emmy Hare on the left baseline. Kicks over to Neal. There's Neal again on the right wing, and her 3 is good.
This is probably just me, Max, but I just can never let those things go. When you get a chance to shoot one from 1 foot from the rim and you miss it, which happens, but it seems like the other team always hits their shot when you miss yours.
Sloppy pass there by Martindale. It's picked off, and here comes Emmy Hare right back at them with the and 1.
And that's how quick it goes. You miss one at one end, they come back down, they hit a 3, they get themselves a steal, they get Emmy Hare at the rim, so she's going to get a chance for an and 1, and you get a chance to get her going. So it's a double plus for Kings on this free throw attempt.
Here's Emmy Hare at the line to convert the and 1. Her shot is short, and Ferraro grabs the defensive rebound.
This is big, keeps them out of pressure.
Spadafora looked like she had an open lane there, decided to pass. It was tipped out by Kings. Still going to be Lincoln ball.
Kings may have traded that bucket by Emmy Hare for the second free throw to be good. Cost them maybe a point, but the chance to get into their pressure and try and keep the momentum going would have been a nice twist for them.
A collision in the air between Hall and Soriano, and it's going to be a foul on Soriano on that one.
You can feel, this is interesting from a different lens here, Max, you can feel a little tension there between the referees. So when you make one right in front of another referee, usually the referee that's standing there is unhappy, and I think that might have been the case here tonight. We had the call come up from the baseline, not saying it was right nor wrong. Just saying when that call comes from there, the referee that was right on top of the play probably feels like you kind of stepped on their toes some.
Miss McMillan driving. She kicks to Martindale on the baseline. Her shot is off, and there's Soriano with the ball. Uganov, and she's going to be fouled by Hall.
Tough one for Hall. Looked like she did a pretty good job before the catch. And what she did, she kind of beat her to the spot there, so it funneled her. So when she caught it, you give you your first chance at maybe traveling, which happens at times, but also force her first 2 steps to come towards the sideline. Had she been able to avoid the foul, I think she would have got Kings a step out of bounds.
Uganov misses the first at the line. Here comes her second. Misses the second, but Boers is able to get the O-board and puts it back in.
That one feels good. That's a rebound Kings needed.
Another miscommunication with this pressure by Lincoln.
That was it. That's why that rebound was so big. You had left some points on the line if you were Kings right now. They seem to be just can't convert the free throws. But not only did it allow the free throw, but allowed them to get back into their pressure, which resulted in this free possession now. So that offensive rebound putback was really big.
And we have Lauren Rainford checking in there for Eden Ferraro, see if she can help Lincoln clean up some of these rebounds. Rainford on Amy Hare, she's driving, triple teamed, and it's going to be jump ball going to Lincoln.
Nice job. Rainford does a real nice job there. And real nice job that she held the ground of which way she wanted Amy Hare to go. She dictated the play of that and relied on the help defense to come in there, which it did.
Here's Lincoln pushing the other way. Sloppy pass there, though, by Spadafora. Picked off by Oriami. Here's Kings in transition. I mean, here with the cross to the spin. Her layup's a bit off, but the O-board, and she's fouled. Getting a little chippy here also.
Yeah, nice job of the referees here. We kind of gave them a little bit of some... We gave them a little bit of a hard time earlier in the call to the zone, but nice job in this one to coming in right away. There is a lot of emotion in the gym right now that is carrying over onto the floor. And I think when these things start to happen, regardless of what was said was going on, you could feel the tension building. So for the referees to come in and make that call, they're just setting the tone right away that we're not allowing this to build up, and let's keep it focused on the great basketball we've had so far here in the first half.
So that first foul there was on Lauren Rainford, which we believe is her third. And then there was a technical then after on Amy Hare. So we will have 2 shots for her, and then Lincoln will get to shoot at the other end. Amy Hare finishes both at the free throw line this time. And we'll have Spadafora shooting the 2 for Lincoln Prep.
Downside for Kings is you had everything going the way you like. And we've talked about it a couple times, their strength was clearly all year, but when they get a chance to get up in the full court pressure defense, take the technical foul when you have a chance to shoot free throws, well, you eliminate the chance for that to be a positive and turn into pressure for you.
And Spadafora makes the free throw. It's going to be Lincoln ball. And that technical will also be Amy Hare's second foul of the game. So that's also another foul trouble situation to watch coming up into the second half. A little mishandled there. But you have a Balab Yakubu and Kings the other way. Ugrinov a little bit off. And there's Lincoln with the rebound. They're pushing again. Right to the line, and it's going to be a charge. Taken by Ugrinov.
This has just been exciting. You got people hitting the floor in every possession right now. People diving for loose balls or putting their body on the line for rebounds, stepping in and taking charges. This is just exciting.
Kings ball.
You calls. I've never seen them. Very good, right? She's awful. So good. Daughter? Yeah. Does she get paid?
Mora down low. She finished.
Kings needed that. They've had a couple good trips for Mora. They've had a couple good opportunities for her. That was a nice one for her to get it down there. Just go back to the left, lay it in, get her back to a bit of a rhythm. So Lincoln's response now is going to be stabilize the ship here a little bit. Don't let Kings build that momentum heading into halftime. There's still a lot of pressure on them. We want to make sure they feel that for the whole halftime break.
And with the lineup out here for Lincoln, it'll be interesting to see how Kings tries to get Mora down low with a huge size mismatch over all the Lincoln defensive options.
That was a great little move there. It's unfortunate the shot got stuck on the bottom part of the foam, but I mean, it's a great move. The patience, I think, fooled a lot of people with the look to the rim. Actually, eyes went up, froze everybody. One more dribble, got to their side, just unfortunately got to the side of her hand.
So we have Taran chipping in for Johnson there. Looks like they're going to try and give a little help up front to contain Mora late in this quarter. But just like we said, Kings has chipped away. What was an 18-point lead for Lincoln is now only 8 with a minute 25 left in this first half.
I think this timeout right now, Max, is actually bigger for Lincoln than it is Kings. And the reason why we say that is the way this has gone here in the first half, they've built themselves up this lead. Now Kings has chipped back into it. What you got to be considering is how's it feeling when it goes into halftime. You want to keep Kings feeling a little stressed and uneasy because you've earned that here in this first half. So what they've got to look at now is they've sat Rainford for a while, they've been sitting Hall, and I know the fouls are a situation, but do you consider putting them back in for this last 90 seconds to build something? Is that worth the risk of the fouls? And that's something they must be talking about in the Lincoln timeout heading into the final 90 seconds.
And we also look at fouls on King's side with Amy Hare sitting with her 2, but Mora's out there with her 2nd. So if you're Lincoln, are you going to try and attack her and let her pick up her 3rd late in this first half, which will then later affect her playing time later in the second? Here's Kings looking to attack right out of the timeout. Noriami goes at Spadafora, and she's fouled. She'll be at the line for 2.
Yeah, nice entry pass, because once they matched up, when Lincoln had matched up all across the floor, the pass direct to half basically became a one-on-one from half, and it's always the advantage for offense when you have that much space to play one-on-one. So great decision to take that, get right to the rim and force the defense to make a play, and they just weren't going to give an easy layup, so you get to go to the line.
And Oriami finishes her first. Kings starting to convert on these free throw opportunities. And on cue, misses the second. It's going to be Lincoln ball.
You have to score on this lineup.
Foul of Yakubu for 2.
That was a good one for Lincoln. They needed a hoop there just to stem the tide.
With this lineup out there for Lincoln, you'll look for her to be one of the main creators for this offense with Hall not there. She's a dynamic player on the wing, so let's look for her on the offensive side for Lincoln. Here's Mora down low, working on Taran, and she's going to be called for the foul. Mora will be at the line for 2.
Yeah, Mora's gotten better as this half has gone on. She probably had a little bit of an uncharacteristic start, not unable to put the ball in, but has continued to get good possessions, has now regained that touch, but also doing a better job of getting to the contact and drawing the foul when she's down there. So she got them this time, but each of the last 2 possessions she had down there, she went in there to initiate that, forced the referee to make a call.
And Mora makes her first, misses the second. Lincoln with the ball, 30 seconds remaining now in the first half. They work it around, get a good look for Tarrant, and her shot's good. Ugrinov probing the D, she finishes. It's going to be Lincoln ball, 10 seconds remaining now in the half. Hall driving, gets a good look, and it's good to beat the buzzer. At the end of the first half, we now have a 37-27 lead for Lincoln Prep over the number 1 seeded Kings Christian.
And the magic of the 10-point lead, for whatever reason it always is a bit of a psychological factor. 10 looks so much better than 8. So you got to think for Lincoln, that last bucket by Hall to come down there end to end and get that thing to go, just allows you the chance to put the other team to go to the locker room, have to think about how that half has gone. And part of the reason in this one, if you're Lincoln in particular, is You played so well to build that thing up, as you said. It reached 18 at one point. Now Kings is going to look up and say, hey, I thought we chipped away, but it's still at 10.
And that's got to be big for Lincoln coming into the half. They got a bunch of rest and time to sit with fouls for both Hall and Rainford. So maintaining a 10-point lead going into the second half is going to be big for them.
Absolutely. The management of the fouls was big for both teams. Both coaches decided to sit a lot of their top players, protect them for the insurance in the second half. And really, it kind of worked out for both. If you're Kings, you chipped away, you feel like you're in a game. If you're Lincoln, you kept it at double digits. You give yourself a chance to go in the second half with a lead.
And we'll be back at the start of the second half.
Okay, and we're back for the second half. Lincoln still holding a 10-point lead, and we are joined now by Coach McAleenan from York University. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks, Steve. Happy to be here. Very happy to be hosting. An exciting night for us to have the top high school girls basketball in Ontario.
Yeah, really great to be here at York. But I mean, for you, it must be also a nice little bonus as well. You've got all this talent here, but then the games themselves, thus far, if one half is a sign of what's to come, it's been exciting.
Very exciting. You know, I thought that Kings started out a bit flat, but after their run in the last few minutes of the second, I'm looking forward to see what happens in the second half here.
What do you think is the keys for Lincoln going into the second half to keep things going?
I would say in the first half, Lincoln had a lot of success pushing the tempo. You know, I thought in transition and with their pressure, that their up-tempo game really gets them some easy scoring opportunities. So they're going to have to look to continue to push.
And Lincoln starts back the other way, gets Rainford with an open jumper from the elbow that she makes. Kings comes back down to go to Mora, who was their late success in the first half, and she gets called for a travel this time. So, Coach, any big news going on here at York University the last little bit?
You know, we had a great year this year, making it to the playoffs for the first time in 3 years. Unfortunately, not being successful, but we have a really good group returning next year, and so far have a good group coming in for next year. Still always on the hunt for some more pieces, as you know, as a coach. Recruiting never ends.
Yeah,
but no, I think, you know, in the last year and a half being here, we're moving in the right direction, and I'm just really excited to get going with our off-season training.
Yeah, it's been a lot of positive talk around the OUA and even the youth sports and the entirety of York University to turn around here in the last little bit, 18 months or so. Obviously, the class coming in has people excited, and now you've got events like this going on here too. So I think it's been a nice plus here for York.
Yeah, we've definitely been trying to host as much elite girls basketball as we can. You know, anytime we can have the opportunity to have potential student athletes in our gym and on campus prior to that, you know, recruiting visit is going to benefit us. You know, even just having this high level of basketball on our court is exciting, and hopefully that will transition into a couple recruits down the road.
Absolutely, and again, we got such great basketball here now. Anyone being a part of the gym here today is going to have positive memories of what's going on if the first half continues in the second.
Yeah, it's been nice watching the transition from the OSBA from the beginning in their preseason game or tournament at the Rise Center to now seeing them in playoffs and how the girls have all definitely improved a ton, and seeing the teams grow together over the course of a year.
And what's been we'll get your opinion, Coach, before we let you go here in the third quarter. What's been your opinion of how the OSBA's been? Has it been a success in year one, or what are the big things you've noticed and seen?
I think that the structure, for sure, for the student athletes in terms of their daily training and environment has been a huge advantage, as well as the periodization over the course of the year. You know, the fact that they can have first of all, just one team that they're a part of, you know, from the beginning of September until now. You know, the extra support, strength and conditioning wise. Some programs obviously having, you know, the sports psychology and some extra resources for the girls just to prepare them for that environment once they get to post-secondary. Yeah, I think it's been a huge benefit. I would say talking to a lot of the kids and parents too, their schedules and the fact that they're able to be finished their day earlier than they were in past.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
not driving around as much. A lot of the different programs have different transportation set up, so again, it's taking it away so the parents don't have to necessarily do quite as much as potentially they had to when the girls were in high school and in clubs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been very well received, and glad to hear that has your support as well too. While we were in discussion there, Aiden Rainford picked up her third foul, so Lincoln has stretched this to 13 points right now, but a very big turn in events with Rainford now having to go to the bench.
Yes, it'll definitely be interesting to see how Kings counters, you know, with that size advantage, if they're going to really look to get the ball inside. But that pace that Lincoln plays at, it could be to their advantage.
Moriyama's going to take a go from three, and that won't go. Lincoln rebound with Hall, get a chance to go in transition.
Transition bucket.
And the Hall connection. Lincoln going back Kings going back inside and more on the left-hand sides where she's been most effective.
Yeah, Lincoln back in the 2-3 zone, trying to do a good job maybe of managing their lack of size, but can't let Kings forwards get the easy touches inside.
The three is going to be a bit heavy there for Lincoln, but they will tie up the rebound, get a jump ball, possession going Lincoln's direction. So, Coach, obviously a lot of schedule conflicts with the OUA and the OSBA running simultaneously. How often have you been able a chance to come out and watch the OSB games, or has it been mostly daily training environment that you've had a chance to see?
No, I mean, I've been able to see a bit of both. You know, definitely, out in that preseason tournament back at the Rise, and then for sure the league games, I've more so seen the league games in the Toronto area as opposed to on the road due to our schedule and them being on kind of Wednesdays or Fridays and Saturdays.
Makes sense.
But yeah, then I've been able to see the playoffs as well. Again, arc season being done, which is kind of nice. But yeah, tried to get out to most of the schools and their training environment to watch the girls at that level, as well as see what the different schools can offer.
Well, it's been real nice to have you here. I know some of the athletes were talking about before the game to have the coaches here watching and supporting, and it's a real nice thing for the OSBA to have one spot where coaches coming from all across doing the recruiting are coming to the gym too. So great job in the turnaround here in New York in the past 18 months, and thanks for coming out here to join us today.
Thanks a lot, Steve. I appreciate it.
Hall's going to get a setback now here for Lincoln, holding on to an 11-point lead. Wing ball screen is going to lead to a pull-up attempt for Hall. It won't go. And we bring back Max Hurst for the play-by-play action.
Hello. And right away, Spadafora. A little bit off, but Lauren Rainford with the putback.
Rainford continues to be an engine working on the side right now. Her sister's sitting on the bench with some foul trouble, but the younger Rainford just finds a way to get in those plays. Jump balls, offensive rebounds on the floor.
And Aiden Rainford wanted us to remind you, Aiden and Lauren Rainford are sisters, where Kaylee Hall and Hannah Hall are not related.
It's a great fun fact tidbit to stay on top of. The impact of the younger Rainford really helps mitigate the challenges that are faced with the older Rainford not being on the floor right now. She continues to earn these hustle points, extra possessions, keep things alive. That just buys you more time so that foul trouble becomes less and less of a problem, and just becomes a player with 3 fouls. Time is always so important when you're talking about foul trouble.
It's going to be an illegal screen there called on Spadafora.
No, not a bad idea with Spadafora, because the switching the screen's a very great move to help free up your guard, but usually what you can do is on a pivot. What happened for her is she got a little happy and both feet were kind of moving at the same time. Referees like to see you keep 1 foot down like an offensive player, and they'll let you get away with that pivot or a quarter turn, but a full shuffle and spin will often get you in trouble with those.
And I think, and the ref said that was going to be tipped out on Lincoln, so it's going to remain King's ball. Oh, and that was Neal with the long shot there.
Yeah, long two. I mean, you always got to take rhythm shots over worrying about where you are on the floor.
And again, the pressure of Kings with that length up front, they try and pass over it, but then it's too high for the Lincoln player.
The importance of them scoring, Kings, it has the twofold, because we talked about this throughout the year as well, too. You score, obviously of paramount importance, but secondly, it allows you to get the defense that you're best at. It allows them to get up and press and put some pressure on the opposition.
And Neal's shot was a bit off there. Lincoln, though, let it go out of bounds, so Kings is able to set up their press there. Might have been a advisable decision to grab that rebound and look to attack in transition.
Yeah, usually you tell your athletes, if you can get it, grab it. It just prevents exactly what you talked about, Max.
Hall attacking. It's tipped away by Huguenot, though. Here's she in transition. Dishes over to Emmy Hare, and she's going to be fouled.
Tough call. Emmy Hare makes a great catch there. I think the pass really surprised her. It was probably behind her head a little bit by the time she got her hands to it. So to make that catch and get back to balance is tough. she probably wasn't all the way back to balance to try to make that pass. So Lincoln's a little disappointed the foul call goes against them. Well, Amy Harris probably still falling backwards.
And that foul there was on Tarrant. Here's Amy Hare probing against the zone, and she finishes the and one.
So it's a big-time athlete, big-time move right there. You can catch on the wing in one dribble, 2 steps to the rim, plus absorb contact. That's things they talk about at a very high level. Amy Hare does a wonderful job of that. I mean, to get that from where she did and turn that to one dribble at the rim is next-level stuff.
Amy Hare finishes a 3-point play. Bringing the lead down to 45-37 for Lincoln Prep, down to 8 again.
And here they are set back up into their pressure. Now you can see if Amy Hare can have an impact on this side of the floor.
Lincoln's able to break the press. Now they look to attack out of it. Couldn't find anything going, so they're going to slow it down, get into their half-court sets.
So no turnover created, but still took 20 seconds roughly off the shot clock.
All attacking, and she's going to be fouled late in the shot clock.
It's too bad for Kings. It was probably a great possession for them. The pressure didn't create a turnover. It didn't even create a deflection, but what it did do is take off 20 seconds, and then you still had Hall way up here at the volleyball attack line trying to start a possession. So the foul really negated all the work they had done in that possession.
And that foul there was on Oriami, so it's going to be Lincoln now, 5 on the shot clock. Balabieko is trapped in the corner. Oriami with a steal, and here comes Amy Hare in transition. Her patented crossover right to the basket, another and one.
Now the toughest part is when you let Amy Hare from over the own 3-point line get a head of steam going. All creative scorers, all great athletes want a head of steam. You got to find a way to corral that much earlier. I think Lincoln got caught a little bit there backing up. They were inside the 3-point line before they're trying to slow down Amy Hare. At that point, she's picking up the basketball, so now you're just getting hands on the ball that's going to the rim. So credit to Amy Hare putting her head down and starting to go. Lincoln's just going to find a way to disrupt it a little bit earlier.
For that basket's now down to a 6-point lead, the closest it's been in a while. Momentum seems to be on King's side to start this third quarter.
You know, if you're Lincoln this time out, I think one of the pieces you got to look at now is going back to some of those traits that helped you early in the game. You don't necessarily need the outcome of steals, you don't need the turnovers that you were creating, but you really disrupted the flow of Kings. So what you need now is something that's going to allow that to happen again. What can you do defensively that can disrupt the flow Kings has had? And really the big plus for Kings right now is they've been able to get Amy Hare going. She's had some on the wings, some on the top, facing the basket. How do you get that out of her hands and make something else go on?
Out of the timeout, we're going to have Amy Hare at the line try to convert her second 3-point play in a row. And Amy Hare again converts. It's down to a 5-point lead.
She wants some?
My mom told me to stop yelling.
Pressure again by Kings paying dividends as they pick up an 8-second call on Lincoln there.
One of the adjustments Amy Hare's made in the second half is she's not going to the basketball right away. She's waiting for the offensive player to turn their back. When they're not, she's just taking a space in the middle, and they're wasting time trying to get from one side to the other.
Great defensive pressure there by Hall. She gets a steal and she comes in transition. The Euro, and the finger roll is good.
Hall's done a real nice job. Now that's 3 possessions where she's got herself all the way to the rim and put it on the glass to finish.
Collision there with Hall and Amy Hare at center. They both get up slowly, but they look okay. Lincoln gets the more a miss, and they're back in transition again. Hall looking for contact. She gets it. There's no call, though. Martindale to put back, a little bit off. Some good looks there by Lincoln that aren't starting to fall. Kind of the same thing we saw with Kings early in the first half.
And Lincoln has done, as we talked about, Max, and obviously we're not sharing any secrets. They've done a nice job of coming back out and pick up this intensity, and that's really got Kings feeling a little bit rushed right now.
Lincoln picks up the kneel miss. They're going to slow it down a bit here. Spadafora on the wing. Finds a cutting Hall. Goes for contact again. A little bit short though. And it's going to be tipped out of bounds on Kings. Lincoln ball. We have Niels a little bit shooken up. Looks like she got might be a shoulder to the stomach. A little winded.
Oriami does a nice job on that one though, Max. Worked her way all the way around Mora to get to that rebound. So you can still feel Lincoln. They're just coming at all cracks, all openings. They're just coming through full bore right now.
Hall tries to break through the double team. Over to Spadafora. They have 5 on the shot clock. She takes a deep 3. A little bit off. Mora gets that rebound.
Nice rebound by Mora in traffic there. Almost like underappreciated sometimes when the big forwards get their hands in between bodies.
Hall again with a defensive play. Comes down in transition and it's good. The defensive presence of Kaylee Hall coming up big late in the third quarter. Demi Hare attacking. Balabiakubu with the foul though. She's going to be at the line for 2.
These are tough now defensively when you're Lincoln, and this is one of the hardest things for all athletes. Once the offensive player is crossed in front of you and they're getting a shot that's in the center of their bodies, Emmy Hare done there too. When you start to reach in to block that, as soon as you go towards the offensive player, you're just increasing the odds that the referee's going to call a foul on you. Because what they're seeing there is you have an offensive player on balance heading directly towards the rim, and then you're going into their cylinder. So you've got to know the time and place of where you've lost the battle, and once she'd crossed you, you just got to hold position and force the shot to be as tough as it can and let go of the urge to block it, which is much easier said than done.
And there's a big size discrepancy there, so she also has a long way to go to get up for that block.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's Hall attacking. She finds Kaylee to Spadafora in the corner. A little bit off. Emmy Hare with the rebound. Here's Boers. The pull-up in transition rattles out.
Good shot, though. Got herself down there. Got herself in control speed-wise, so she was on balance. And a good look at it.
Right in our face. It's going to be tipped out by Emmy Hare. It's going to be Lincoln ball.
This is a
There's
quick
10 seconds remaining here. Hall attacking, kicks out to Kaylee Hall. Jumper's no good. The putback is also no good. There you have it. It's going to be a 49-42 lead for Lincoln heading into the fourth.
I got 2 thoughts on this last one there, Max. First off, Emmy Hare does a nice job on the ball with Hall driving at her, then lands, but seemed to fall asleep a little bit, uncharacteristic for her, and didn't really chase that rebound, which almost snuck up for a putback attempt for Lincoln at the end of the quarter. So it actually is important, or highlights just how difficult it can be to stay engaged, but the importance of finishing off a quarter and a possession. But the second thing will be now for, if Kings is going to put Emmy Hare on Hall, you would almost have to think that the talk in this time out here going the fourth quarter is that the rest of the help has to stay. Like, force Hall to hit that shot over Emmy Hare. Even if she beats her some, that's still a big person to shoot over. Yeah. It's going to change the shot percentage. But right now, if you're going to send Emmy Hare on her and collapse the defense, Hall's going to drive and just kick out every time. So force it in her hands. Emmy Hare's on her. Let's see how that one-on-one goes with your Kings first, and to make it all stay in Hall's hands. See if you can wear her down here with the 7-point difference in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that'll be a big matchup to watch. 2 of the premier players of the OSBA going at it here in the fourth. And what a great sign for Lincoln late in that quarter with some of their younger players, with Kaylee Hall and Katura Balabieko stepping up on the defensive end and getting some points there in transition as well.
It hasn't been exactly an explosion from Kaylee Hall, but her contribution offensively has been timely enough that it's felt like an explosion. She's probably at 8 points roughly. I'm guessing of what I've watched her, but it just seems like every time Lincoln's needed one, Kaylee Hall's come out and responded by pretty much a steal and getting an uncontested layup or a finish in traffic. So she's been a big plus to the offensive contributions.
And right out of the fourth quarter, here's Uganov for 3. Cutting the lead now to 4 for Lincoln. So coming out to start the fourth quarter, we have Rainford coming off the bench with her foul trouble for Lincoln. So they have their post presence in there to combat with Amy Hare down low. And the shot just tips off the rim, hits the upright, it's going to be out of bounds, Kings ball.
Feels so subtle when you come out of the start of a quarter like that and you take 2 dribbles, skip past someone, it's a shot. It just feels like you're still getting your feet underneath it for both teams, but big shot. You cut it back down to 4 points. It really was much more impactful than the gym reaction.
Uganov again for 3. This one short, and a great box out there by Hall on Amy Hare. Spadafora for 3. A little bit too strong. But Lincoln's able to get the offensive rebound. Oh, no, it's through the hands. It's going to be Kings ball, but great hustle again.
Yeah, I got to credit Lincoln over there right in front of their bench, and you could sense it on the bench, appreciating the effort of both athletes, heading out of bounds, trying to walk the tightrope over there, staying inbounds back and forth to each other. Just couldn't come up with it, but it's that kind of effort just to get one more possession that you need when you're talking semifinal basketball.
Soriano breaks through the pressure of Lincoln, but then is trapped on the side. Spadafora with the ball now. And that's Balabiekubu, fouled by Amy Hare at the halfway point.
Yeah, that was one of those funny times that an off-speed pass actually ended up helping you in offense. Most times you cringe as the offensive team when a pass kind of slips out and rolls like that, but because it took so long to get there, longer than Amy Hare was anticipating, she had to walk up on the offensive player and committed a foul. So a rare time that the slow pass worked out.
Here's Kings now. It's in a 2-3 zone. They give up the 3. Rainford right away fighting for the O board, and it's just tipped out.
There is a trend right now. We'll see if this continues, but the first minute and a half here of the fourth quarter, Lincoln's been chasing every loose ball and every rebound. Kings right now feels like they're watching much more of the play happen.
Another trap on the sideline by Lincoln, and a turnover again by Kings.
Kings is going to need a little bit of a spark here, I think. Regardless of the score, those things become really paramount as the game winds down.
10 seconds on the shot clock as Lincoln passes it around looking for a good look. And it's going to be tipped off the leg of Lincoln player. It's going to be Kings ball. So we have a timeout, Kings. 8 minutes left.
I'll tell you, Lincoln's shown some real positive signs here. I mean, 1, we talked about they're getting good shots. 2, they seem to be chasing down everything. That's a 50-50 ball, seems to be all Lincoln. But also right there, you've got a nice drive. The ball goes off your leg. That stuff happens sometimes in basketball. But you saw 2 or 3 teammates and coaches acknowledge right away, great decision and let's move on. You can't dwell on what's happened there as a mistake. So just the awareness of each other and team support is a real big positive going on for Lincoln. On the flip side for Kings right now, they need something to shake this up. If you're going to lose the 50-50 balls in a 4-point game, you're going to be in a real tough situation. You're going to shoot the heck out of it if you're going to want to come back on this thing to make up for lack of effort. So whatever they got to do now for a change, whether it's some sort of tactical change or it's a substitution change, but something's got to give here to ignite some sort of spark here with only 8 minutes to go.
And they're going to have to try and look to figure out Lincoln's pressure. They've had 3 quick turnovers to start the fourth. They've constantly gotten trapped on this sideline. Don't do that.
I'll tell you, like, this is exciting though. We got people's seasons coming down to this. You got about 8 minutes left to go. It's a 4-point game. It's what we've been anticipating the OSBA was going to be all about come semifinal Thursday.
I love it. I just love it. And here we go. Uganov's going to bring it up for Kings. There's Boris right in that trap spot. Lincoln backs off though. They tip the pass though by Amy Hare, and they come in transition. And they finish. Balabiekubu again. A big spark this second half on both the offensive and defensive ends for Lincoln. This new zone by Lincoln has really caused fits for Kings as a second turnover in a row.
Lincoln ball.
Yeah, the body language on Kings right now is a little alarming. They truly do need something to spark everybody. It just seems that the whole team is just waiting around for that one thing to happen, and those can happen at any given moment in basketball, but there's no one right now holding each other together waiting for that time.
So here's Hall. She's open for three. Don't leave her! She buries the open look, extending the lead to 9.
Kings is going to need a response, and I think the response is going to come more from their emotions than it does their play.
And just looking at the benches, you have Lincoln all up cheering on their team, where Kings bench almost looks sad with how this one is shaping out.
Basketball is a game of emotion, and swings happen all the time. But what Kings is going to need then to get this thing sparked, I don't think it's going to come from within. It's going to need someone to make that play, whether it's an offensive play or a defensive play, to get it going again. And people get energy from all sorts of ways, and they're going to need to find it in some shape or form here in the next 6.5 minutes.
And Amy Hare's hook shot over Hall is no good. Lincoln gets the rebound. They're coming down on the offensive end. Anna Hall, looks like it's tipped by Amy Hare at the buzzer. It's going to be a shot clock violation on Lincoln. Kings ball.
Most teams, you get to this time of year, you've talked about how do we come back from these scenarios and what does that look like. You've also talked about, from Lincoln's point of, like, what does it look like for us to hold on to a win. So right now we're going to see those things that they've probably talked about all season long. What do we go to when we need to come back from 9 points with 6 minutes to go?
And Emmy Hare's rebound looked like it was tipped off the rim or backboard, shot right down and went off Kaylee Hall's leg. So a lucky break there for Kings as they'll retain possession. Kings works it around, looking for Mora down low. She gets it, but Hall comes down and picks her pocket. Hall around to Kaylee Hall. They swing around the horn to Hall for three, a little bit too strong.
Nice ball movement though. Very unselfish there by Lincoln, trying to find that shot to put a nail in this thing.
Uganaw for three, a little bit off, but there's Amy Hare with that elite athleticism coming in for the rebound.
Real athletic play there. She's down in some pain now. I'm not sure if she landed funny or if her knee hit on the ground, but she went right up over top of Hall to get that rebound and then wasn't able to land cleanly.
Boards coming to the game for Kings.
So the early reports from our sideline reporter is that we have a calf cramp going on down there from the way she landed. We'll keep you posted, but heading into this timeout, right now Kings are going to find a bit of a change of pace. So we talked about just a few seconds ago that usually you know what you go to in your last 6-7 minutes, crunch time when you're down, what that looks like. I bet that has a different shape if Amy Hare's not on the floor for them. That full court pressure probably has a different look now, and they've got to probably be a little bit more creative in how they're going to generate some offense. Lincoln, on the other hand, has got to find some way to just keep this thing going. They've got the Kings on their heels. You just want to keep pushing that forward.
But Kings, even without Amy Hare, they still do have quite a load of offensive firepower out there. They have Oriami, she can get hot in a hurry. They have Bors and Uganoff, who both can hit from deep. And they still have Mora down low, who's a force on the block. So they're definitely not out of it by any stretch with 5.5 minutes here to go. We're going to give a quick shout out to the medical team here on hand for the semifinals.
Yeah, they're quick to respond. They got Amy Hare to the bench. It looks like they're trying to work on some massage of the calf right now. If we get any word on likelihood of return, we'll let you know. Right now it is listed as doubtful.
Keep you posted. See how Kings comes out of it without Amy Hare. Oriami right away, a deep three. It's a little short.
It's too bad. I like the decision there. I like the look of that, but I think Oriami almost surprised herself. I think originally she was just going to catch it and pass, never got herself fully square.
So they now have Oriami at the top of the zone. Lincoln just gets it over. And we have Rainford. And here's Hall. Lincoln using a lot of clock. Hall looks to attack. Dishes to Rainford. Her layup attempt is no good though.
Well, Hall did a nice job there, shooting over top of the head. She beat 2 defenders there, so they're giving themselves a great shot. Unfortunately, Rainford just couldn't convert that one.
Oh, defensive pressure again paying dividends for Lincoln as they come up with the steal. A great tip there by Neal though, stops the transition offense for Lincoln. They're going to have to attack in the half court.
Kings kind of lucked out there for a chance to come back and play defense. They got to capitalize on this now.
Hall kicks out to Kaylee Hall. Her shot's no good. Oriami with the rebound. She's going to be fouled there by Spadafora.
Lincoln's been a little guilty of this tonight and throughout the year too. They get a couple of fouls on the offensive rebounders. And we talk about sometimes early in the game, that's fine. You actually encourage that for your players to go try and get those offensive rebounds. But you get to the fourth quarter, so you usually have to keep the hands out of there for multiple facets. One, you don't want to foul, but two, you don't want to push it towards bonus.
Lincoln stays in their zone. Kings gets a good look for Boers. Don't leave her though. She can get hot in a hurry.
Probably the ideal there for Kings. It's probably exactly who they wanted and the look she got. As soon as she passed it, she knew she was getting that one back.
And the last game we had between these two ended in a Lincoln 2-point win, but Boers was on fire late in the fourth, hitting 5 threes in that quarter alone. So we'll see if she can get hot and try and bring Kings back into it. Hall driving. She finds Kaylee Hall cutting. Layup attempt is no good, but a great play there by Lincoln.
Yeah, nice find, and the offensive rebound gave you the chance for that too.
Oriami's pass is tipped by Aiden Rainford. Here comes Hannah Hall in transition. Dished off to her teammate and she finishes. Bala Yakubu again in transition.
Too bad for Kings. Last possession down. They probably made the wrong pass. They wanted to come to the top 45. Boers was open there.
Bala Yakubu again on defense now, tying up Mora for the jump ball. It's going to be Lincoln ball, and a great sign as Amy Hare re-enters the game for Kings.
And with 3 minutes to go, you're going to need the impact of Amy Hare probably right away.
So we have Hannah Hall looking to attack for Lincoln. They're looking for Rainford down low. She gets the and one on Amy Hare. A great pass there by Martindale to find her down low.
Oh, tough call. If you want to be Amy Hare, you're going to hope you're going to get that call before the ball gets there, so it doesn't allow for that catch continuation and one. I think once the ball's in the air, if you front it and it's going to go over your head, you have to trust that your help side's going to come provide that there. You can't foul while it's in flight.
So here's Kings down 10, 2.5 minutes left, and Kaylee Hall another steal on the wing, and another 2-point transition layup.
Kaylee Hall in timely fashion once again. That's really going to mount the pressure on Kings.
And Zuganov over to Boers, a deep triple, and it's good!
Oh, they need that.
Big shot.
They're going to need a score from their defense here.
The lead's 9 now for Lincoln. 2 minutes left, though. They've got to put some pressure. 10 seconds remaining. Looks like they'll play out this shot clock. Let Hall attack, and she's fouled with 6 seconds left by Soriano.
That's too bad for Kings. Not only do you get the foul and allows them to reset what they're doing, because it felt like you had pushed Lincoln down to a tough spot, but the other best I thought was to put a little more time back on the clock, not only just for the possession and reestablish themselves, but also just time ticking away in the game.
So we have a Kings timeout with 1:58 left in the fourth quarter. Down 9.
The way this is played out, you've got some banged up bodies, which makes sense. We said in the beginning we had both teams diving all over the floor for this, but now you've got Amy Hare, who looks like she's playing in a lot of pain. probably not as mobile as she was when the game started, and they've had to move her where she's at in their zone and pressure. And then Hall was limping over to the timeout after that last play as well too. Probably landed a bit on her hip. So those things sting. They're tough to walk off immediately, and we got 2 minutes to go. So we'll see if there's any factor in the last 120 seconds here.
The score is 60 to 51 for Lincoln Prep. Shout out to Mika Nurse letting us know you don't know.
Look at that traffic up, I guess.
We got you guys, don't worry.
So we get a half shot clock here from the foul. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Lincoln ball here coming in.
And we're going to repeat the score is 60 to 51 for those interested out there. Martindale on the wing. Tips it to Hall, who kind of got caught close to the baseline. It's going to be King's ball.
That was good to see for Kings as well too. I think it's the first time in a while we see Orgianov's getting on the floor, but not Hermatiga, but the first time that team had shown a little bit of spark here and defensively. So get down there on the floor, knock that thing out of bounds, get the ball back. It's going to go a long way for them.
Here's Boers. Hall right up on her though. They don't want her to get another open look.
This is where it's a tough bounce and a bit of a test of composure for Kings. It is a 3-possession game, so immediately you think, well, there's not a lot of time for 3 possessions, but the important part of 3-possession games is you have to score. You can't waste and turn it into a 5 or 6 possession game because you're not scoring. So possessions are highly valuable.
Here.
Quality is important. And then time is the other factor.
Looked like a lucky break there by Lincoln as they got the look. Kings got the look they wanted. They got a Boers 3, unable to convert though on that opportunity.
Yeah, but good luck for Kings. They gotta be happy with that possession. You get Boers a nice clean shot behind the screen. Probably the girl they want, getting a good clean look at it.
So we have Spadafora and Rainford checking in for Lincoln. See how they attack the pressure. It's Rainford to Rainford. She's blocked there by Boers, though it's going to remain Lincoln ball, though.
Oriami into game for Kings.
We have Midei Oriami checking in for Christina Mora now for Kings. They throw over the zone right to Hannah Hall. We have 1:17 remaining. It's a 60 to 51 lead for Lincoln Prep. Rainford to Rainford down low, blocked by Emmy Hare. The shot clock reset, but it's going to be a shot clock violation. No rim on that.
No, Lincoln had a pretty good possession this time down. They had the first one that went down to the smaller Rainford. She got blocked by Boers. They get it inside on another nice possession to the senior Rainford, and she got blocked. But they forced Kings to make 2 great plays for a stop there. So credit to Lincoln, and I think you take those possessions the rest of the way out.
Oriami's pass is tipped there by Spadafora, retained by Kings though. They get it to Emmy Hare down low, and it's going to be a foul on Hall. Emmy Hare to the line for 2.
Yeah, nice pass. They got stuck down there in the corner, but they went 2 passes to keep that triangle going. And Emmy Hare has nice patience to not give up her spot, hold the seal, walk it up the lane, let the thing go high-low so she can get there and draw the foul.
My mistake, that foul was not on Hannah Hall, it was on Lauren Rainford, which will be her 5th. So Lincoln will bring in Emily Martindale for Lauren.
They'll take this 30 seconds right now, which is, I mean, just part of the gamemanship. You just want to make sure momentum's not building against you if you're Lincoln. With only 52 seconds left, a 9-point lead, even with Emmy here on the line, you want to just take a little bit of time now, let it feel flat. Let your Emmy here to think about these free throws. The second one's really big for Kings because they need to get themselves under pressure. So let her stew on that as the time ticks.
Oh, and Emmy Hare's shot is a little bit off. The second is good. It's going to be a timeout Lincoln here.
So the second Lincoln smartly takes the timeout just to avoid anything going downhill with the pressure where Kings is at their best. But that's the plus of Emmy here making that one. You're forcing them to use that timeout this time. So as this continues on, if you're Kings, you need to get a stop. That's the reality of what's going on, whether you foul or stop, something like that. You're going to have to score down at the other end. Now you're starting to burn up those timeouts that Lincoln has down the stretch run. Once they run out, you're going to have to create something with your defense. 8 points is too many for how much time's remaining without your defense creating something.
So the score is, for those inquiring at home, it's 60 for Lincoln Prep, 52 for Kings. We have 52 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Lincoln here will probably have some sort of action. What you ultimately want is you want to get your best free throw shooter, ball handler, so the ball gets in safely, but away from the half-court line. That's always so dangerous. So they'll probably run some action for the first cutter to come up high. If they're unguarded, you throw it in there. Anything short of that, you run your secondary action or second curl off the screen coming here towards the ball and to the safe area down the strong sideline. Then your third area will be in the middle of the floor. So I anticipate Lincoln will keep pretty structured and standard in this scenario.
Lincoln trying to get into Hannah Hall. She does. She's fouled immediately by Soriano. That's only the team's fourth, though, so it won't be bonus quite yet.
And you can see it again, too. One Hall came out here to top, and then Hannah Hall, who they probably wanted, was going on that sideline. So I wouldn't be surprised they actually ran the same action. You get a couple curls. You have some interference going on. You should be able to get somebody open still, or feel confident in that if you're Lincoln.
Kings looking to double Hall there, and they're going to call Kaylee Hall on an illegal screen. So it's going to be Kings ball on the sideline.
That's probably the worst case scenario. No time, continues to run, but 8 seconds ago, you just get up and you play defense.
Oh, Hall almost again with a timely steal, but it's going to remain Kings ball. 40 seconds left now. 60 to 52 lead for Lincoln. Emmy Hare attacking against Hall, right to the basket, but her shot is too strong. Martindale with the rebound. She's fouled by Oriami, and she'll be shooting two.
Yeah, great credit to Hall here. We talked before with Emmy Hare, she can get the head of speed, how dangerous that is, but Hall had cut her off 2 or 3 times, and that was the difference from this one to the one earlier. She forced her to spin, she crossed first, forced her to spin out of that, then she came back to the right, she got her outside the block, so it turned from being an extended layup to a fadeaway jump shot, and the percentages of what Emmy Hare is going to make on those 2 shots is significantly different. So a credit to Hall of making that an easy shot into a very difficult shot.
First one is off for Martindale, so it remains an 8-point lead for Lincoln. The second is off again, and Oriami corrals it for Kings. 25 seconds left, down 8, they have to push. Soriano driving. It's going to be a foul called on Hall, so Soriano will have 2 for the line.
And this is, even with 8 points, 18 seconds, this is definitely a very great teachable moment for Hall. And for all these things that are going on, what you don't want to do in that scenario is foul. We always get the natural inclination that an athlete's got by, you want to stop that, you're trying to reach in there and get that steal, but what you've done is you've stopped the clock, you allow them to shoot free throws, you allow them to talk to each other about what they're doing here for Kings. You want to keep it a little bit chaotic because you've got everything in your control.
A great box out there by Rainford, not allowing Emmy Hare to get the rebound, and Lincoln brings it out. Hall escapes the foul, and there you have it. Lincoln Prep takes the first semifinal, 60 to 53 over Kings Christian. The 4th seed upsets the regular season champs.
What an exciting start to playoffs here for the OSBA.
And stay tuned for our next exciting matchup, which will feature the Rise Wolfpack against Durham Elite, the 2 and 3 seeds of the inaugural OSBA season.